The homeless man stood silently as the millionaire ripped up his deal in front of everyone. But when a single name was spoken, the man froze, and the room went completely silent. Subscribe to the channel, leave your like, and comment where in the world you're watching from, because now I'm going to tell you everything. The big doors swung open. Everyone in the quiet, fancy room turned to look. A small boy walked in. He had messy black hair and wore a dirty, mustard yellow shirt that was too big for him. The shirt had a tear at the sleeve. The rich people in their nice suits and dresses whispered. They looked away, as if seeing him was a bad smell. The boy did not stop. He walked straight to the front of the long, shiny table. He stopped in front of a tall man with silver hair and a sharp blue suit. The man's name was Derek Chase. The boy held out a single piece of paper. "What is this?" Derek Chase asked. He did not take the paper. He smiled a mean smile at the people sitting around him. Did someone let in a joke from the street? The boy, Lucas, just held the paper higher. His hand did not shake. Derek's smile got tighter. He looked at the boy's serious face, then at the old, torn shirt. He laughed a loud, empty laugh. He snatched the paper from Lucas's hand. "Let's see your important document," Derek said. He looked at it for 1 second. Then he tore it in half. The sound was very loud in the quiet room. He tore it again and again. He tore the paper into many, many little pieces. He let them fall from his fingers like white confetti onto the dark, expensive carpet. "Now," Derek said, his voice cold, "get out." Lucas did not move. He did not cry. He looked at the pieces on the floor. Then he looked up at Derek with calm, dark eyes. An old man at the end of the table stood up. He was very tall and thin, wearing a perfect gray suit. His name was Silas Thorne. "Mr. Chase," Mr. Thorne said. His voice was clear and strong. It filled the whole room. "That document was the official claim of ownership." Derek waved a hand. "A piece of trash from a street kid." "No," Mr. Thorne said slowly. He looked not at Derek, but at Lucas. "It was the claim of Lucas Montgomery, the only grandson of Arthur Montgomery, the true owner of Montgomery Toys." For a moment, there was no sound at all. You could hear the air from the vents. Derek's face changed. His mean smile vanished. His skin turned the color of milk. "Montgomery?" he whispered. "The will of Arthur Montgomery is clear," Mr. Thorne continued. He spoke to the whole board of directors now. "Upon his 9th birthday, full ownership of the company and its assets passes to his direct heir, Lucas. That birthday was yesterday." All the people stared at Lucas. Their mouths were open. Derek's eyes were wide with panic. He looked at the boy in the yellow shirt. This homeless boy owned the company. This boy owned the very building they were in. This boy owned everything Derek had been trying to steal for months. Lucas bent down. He started to carefully pick up the tiny pieces of the torn paper, one by one. "It does not matter," Derek said, but his voice cracked. "You have no proof. You destroyed it." Lucas stood up, the paper scraps in his cupped hands. He looked at the fear in Derek's eyes. He knew that fear was not about the paper. The contract was just a copy. The real one was safe. His mother had made sure of that. His mother, Amelia, was the reason he was here. She had disappeared 1 year ago. Before she vanished, she told him to hide, to pretend to be nobody. So he did. He lived in the back room of a laundromat. He wore old clothes. He waited for his 9th birthday. He came here today to stop Derek Chase from stealing his grandfather's life work. But he also came for a bigger reason. He came to find his mom. He was sure Derek knew something about where she went. Mr. Thorne walked over and placed a gentle hand on Lucas's shoulder. "Come, Mr. Montgomery. We have much to discuss." As they walked out of the silent boardroom, Lucas glanced back once. Derek Chase was still standing there, frozen, staring at the pieces of paper on the carpet. Out in the bright hallway, Mr. Thorne looked down at him. "Are you all right, Lucas?" Lucas nodded. He looked at the scraps in his hands. "This was just paper," he said, his voice soft. "The promise is not in the paper. My mom told me that." Mr. Thorne's stern face softened for just a second. "Your mother was very wise." He paused. "Where have you been living? We will take you to your house, the big house in Beverly Hills." Lucas shook his head. "No, not yet." He thought of the safe, small room behind Manny's laundromat. He thought of the danger his mother warned him about. I need to go back to where I was, for now. Mr. Thorne looked surprised, but he nodded. As you wish. But you are not alone anymore. Your grandfather left instructions. I am here to help you. I know, Lucas said. He looked up at the lawyer. But I need to find my mom first, before anything else. He saw something in Mr. Thorne's eyes then. It was not a no. It was a deep, sad worry. We will try, Lucas, Mr. Thorne said. But for now, you have a company to learn. And there are people in that room who are very, very angry. Lucas put the torn pieces in his pocket. He touched the old fabric of his yellow shirt. It was the last thing his mother bought for him. He would not take it off. He had his name back. But the real fight, the one for his family, was just beginning. The torn pieces of contract were a soft lump in Lucas's pocket. Mr. Thorne's black car drove away from the glass tower, but Lucas did not go to a big house. He gave the driver a different address. The car stopped in front of a small building with a sign that said Sunshine Laundromat. The windows were steamy. Lucas got out. Inside, the air was warm and smelled of soap. Machines hummed and churned. A large man with a kind face was folding a big pile of towels behind the counter. His name was Manny. Lucas, you're back early, Manny said. Then he looked closer. What happened? Your eyes are different. Lucas walked behind the counter and through a door into a small back room. It had a cot, a sink, and his few things. Manny followed him. I had to go to the tall building, Lucas said quietly. He pulled the scraps of paper from his pocket and held them out on his palm. Manny stared at the tiny white pieces. What is this? It was a paper that said, Who I Am. A man named Derek Chase tore it up. Why would he do that? Manny asked, his voice full of concern. Because he was stealing my grandfather's company, and the paper said it was mine. Lucas looked up at Manny. My real name is Lucas Montgomery. My grandfather started Montgomery Toys. Manny's mouth fell open. He slowly sat down on a stool. The toy company? The one with the big factory on the east side? That is your family? Lucas nodded. My mom was Amelia Montgomery. She went missing 1 year ago. She told me to hide until I was 9, so I hid here. Thank you for letting me stay. Manny shook his head, not in anger, but in wonder. I knew you were a special kid, too quiet, too smart. But this? He pointed to the paper scraps. What do we do now? That man tore up your proof. It was a copy, Lucas said. He placed the pieces carefully into an empty cookie tin on a shelf. The real one is with a lawyer, but I need to do more. I need to go to the toy factory. I need to learn about the company. It is the only way to find out what happened to my mom. Manny rubbed his face. This is big, Lucas. Big and dangerous. That man in the tower, he will be angry. I know, Lucas said. He walked to a small pile of clean clothes Manny had left for him. There was a plain blue t-shirt on top. He picked up his yellow shirt from the cot. It was dirty from the city. You should wear the clean one, Manny said softly. Lucas looked at the yellow shirt. He thought of his mother buying it for him. He thought of wearing it every day to feel close to her. He thought of wearing it into the boardroom. No, Lucas said. I will wash this one, but I will keep wearing it. Just then, the bell on the laundromat door chimed. Both of them went still. Lucas peeked through the small window in the door. Mr. Thorne stood in the middle of the laundromat looking very out of place in his perfect suit. It is the lawyer, Lucas whispered. He walked out into the main room. Manny followed closely. Mr. Montgomery, Mr. Thorne said with a slight nod. He glanced at Manny. This is Manny. He is my friend, Lucas said. Mr. Thorne nodded to Manny. I see. Lucas, we must talk about what happens next. The law is clear. You own the company, but you are a child. Because of this, a group of adults called the Board of Directors will help run the company day by day. You are the owner, but they make many of the normal decisions. Is Derek Chase on that board? Lucas asked. Mr. Thorne's lips tightened. Yes, he remains a board member. His vote to take over the company failed, but he still has his old seat. He still has influence. He must be very careful. Lucas thought about this. The enemy was still inside the castle. What do I do? Lucas asked. First, you come with me to the factory tomorrow, mister, Thorne said. You must see what you own. You must meet the people. There is one person in particular you should know. Her name is Eleanor Vance. She was your grandfather's right hand. She makes the toys." "Okay," Lucas said. "I will go tomorrow." "Good," Mr. Thorne said. He placed a business card on a washing machine. "My number. Call me anytime, for anything." He gave Manny another look, a silent message of thanks, and then left. The laundromat was quiet again except for the machines. Manny let out a long breath. A board of directors. That man Chase is still there. "Lucas, this is a snake's nest." Lucas looked at the business card. He thought of the big, quiet factory waiting for him. Somewhere in that place were answers. Somewhere were his mother's secrets. "I have to go in," Lucas said, more to himself than to Manny. "It's the only way to find the truth." He picked up his yellow shirt and put it into an empty washing machine. He poured in the soap. As the water began to fill, he watched his shirt swirl, getting ready for tomorrow. The clean yellow shirt still smelled like sunshine and soap. Mr. Thorne's car did not go to another glass tower. It drove to a very large brick building on the east side of Los Angeles. A big old sign over the doors said Montgomery Toys. Lucas got out of the car and looked up. The building was huge. He could hear faint sounds coming from inside. A low humming, a gentle buzzing, a soft asterisk, clack, 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 asterisk. "This is the main factory," Mr. Thorne said, "where the toys are made." They walked through the doors. The inside was one giant room under a high ceiling. It was full of light and noise and movement. Conveyor belts rolled, machines stamped and painted, workers in aprons put pieces together. In one corner, people were painting smiling faces on wooden dolls. In another, they were testing the wheels on little red cars, and the smell. It was wood and paint and something sweet like sawdust. Lucas stopped walking. He just watched. His grandfather had built this. His mother had played here. "There is someone you must meet," Mr. Thorne said, guiding him through the busy floor. They went to a corner separated by shelves overflowing with toy parts. It was less noisy here. A small old woman with wild white hair was bent over a table, drawing. She wore a bright purple smock covered in paint splatters. "Eleanor," Mr. Thorne said. The woman, Eleanor Vance, looked up. She had big green eyes behind large glasses. She saw Mr. Thorne, then her eyes landed on Lucas, on his yellow shirt. Her drawing pencil fell from her fingers and rolled across the table. "Oh my," she whispered. She stood up quickly. She walked right up to Lucas and looked into his face. Those are Amelia's eyes, and Arthur's stubborn chin. Her own eyes filled with water. "You look just like them." "This is Lucas Montgomery," Mr. Thorne said formally. "I know who he is," Eleanor said, her voice shaky but strong. She didn't hug Lucas. She just looked at him, as if memorizing his face. "Welcome home, child." "Thank you," Lucas said softly. "Come," she said, suddenly bustling with energy. "You have to see your grandfather's office. No one has used it since he passed. We kept it just so." She led them to an elevator and up to the 4th floor. The hallway was quiet. She opened a heavy wooden door. The office was big and sunny. It had a large desk made of dark wood. Bookshelves lined the walls, filled with books and toy prototypes. There was a big, comfortable-looking chair. On the desk was a photograph in a silver frame. Lucas walked over to it. It showed a man with a kind smile and a little girl on his shoulders. The girl was laughing. "That is your grandfather, Arthur," Eleanor said, her voice gentle. "And the little girl is your mother, Amelia. She was about your age there." Lucas picked up the photo. He felt a connection, sharp and warm. This was his family. Can I look around?" he asked. "Of course," Eleanor said. "It is your office now." Lucas walked behind the big desk. He ran his fingers over the smooth wood. He noticed one of the drawers looked different. The wood grain around the small keyhole was very straight, unlike the swirly grain on the other drawers. He pressed the edges with his fingers. "Is there a key?" he asked. Mr. Thorne looked thoughtful. There was a set of keys. They were lost many years ago. Lucas pushed at the side of the drawer. Nothing happened. He pushed at the top. A small, hidden piece of wood at the back of the drawer's face slid sideways with a quiet asterisk click asterisk. The whole front of the drawer popped open a little. It was a secret compartment. Eleanor gasped. Arthur's hiding spot. I forgot all about that. Lucas pulled the small compartment open all the way. Inside were two things. One was an old tarnished key. The other was a color photograph. He picked up the photo. It showed his mother, Amelia. She was younger, smiling. Her arm was linked with a man's arm. The man was handsome, with dark hair and a warm smile. He looked like a friend. "Who is this?" Lucas asked, holding the photo out. Eleanor took it. Her smile faded. "Oh, that is Robert Hill. He was your grandfather's friend, a business friend. He helped with the money side of the company for many, many years. He was at all the family parties. He was like an uncle to your mother." She handed the photo back. "I have not seen him in a long time. He retired." Lucas looked at the key. Then he looked at the photo of the smiling man, Robert Hill. His mother had kept this photo hidden. Why? He put the key and the photo carefully into the pocket of his jeans. "I would like to learn how to make toys," Lucas said, looking at Eleanor. "Not just be the boss. Can you teach me?" Eleanor's face lit up like sunshine. She clapped her hands together. Yes, I can. We start tomorrow." The big boardroom table was made of shiny, dark wood. Lucas sat in the large chair at the head of the table. His feet did not touch the floor. He wore his yellow shirt. Mr. Thorne sat in a chair slightly behind him like a shadow. Derek Chase sat 3 seats away. He wore a gray suit. He did not look at Lucas. He looked at the papers in front of him. A woman with glasses, a board member named Susan, was speaking. "The numbers from the Oakland factory are very clear. It is losing money. We propose closing it at the end of the month. The work can be moved to a cheaper facility overseas." Lucas listened. He thought of the big factory he had just seen, the workers painting doll faces, the smell of wood. "Do we all agree?" Susan asked, looking around the table. Several people nodded. "I agree," Derek said, his voice smooth. "It is the only smart business decision. Sentiment cannot pay the bills." "We will take a vote," Susan said. "All in favor of closing the Oakland factory?" Hands started to go up around the table. Derek's hand went up, a slow, confident move. "No," Lucas said. His voice was not loud, but it was clear. It stopped the room. Everyone turned to look at him. Derek's hand slowly lowered back to the table. "I am sorry, Lucas," Susan said gently. "But the board votes on these matters. It is how it works." "I understand," Lucas said. He kept his hands flat on the table. "But I own the company, so I have a question before the vote." Derek let out a small, annoyed breath. "Let the boy ask his question. Then we can vote." Lucas looked at Susan. "You said the factory is losing money. How much money did it lose last year?" Susan looked at her paper. "It lost $200,000. Lucas nodded. "Thank you." He looked at Mr. Thorne, who passed him a different folder. Lucas opened it. "The papers Mr. Thorne gave me say the factory makes the special wooden trains, the Montgomery Mountain Express. Is that right?" "Yes," Susan said, looking confused. "How many of those trains did we sell last year?" Lucas asked. Another board member, a man named Carl, checked his sheet. "We sold 10,000 units." "And how much does one train cost to make?" Lucas asked. Carl did some quick math. "About $30 for the parts and the work." "And how much do we sell it for?" Lucas's voice was calm, like he was just learning a recipe. "We sell it to stores for $60, Carl said. Lucas looked at his own paper. "So for each train, the company makes $30. Times 10,000 trains is..." He paused, doing the math in his head. $300,000. The room was very quiet. "But the factory lost 200,000, Derek said sharply. "Your own numbers mean nothing." Lucas looked directly at him. "My question is, where did the other $500,000 go?" "The 300,000 from the trains, plus the 200,000 we lost. That is $500,000 that the factory made or cost." "Where did it go?" No one spoke. Susan and Carl looked at their papers, flipping through them quickly. Derek's face was getting tight. "That is a complicated accounting issue. Overhead, management costs, things a child cannot be expected to understand." "I can understand numbers," Lucas said softly. He looked back at Susan. "Can you show me the paper that says where the $500,000 went?" Susan's mouth opened, then closed. I do not have that breakdown with me today. It is in a different report." "Then I do not think we can vote," Lucas said. He sat back in his big chair. We should not close a factory that makes our best trains until we understand the numbers. All of the numbers. A man at the end of the table, an older board member named George, cleared his throat. The boy is right. It is not prudent. I change my vote. I am not in favor of closing the factory today. I agree, said another woman. Let us get the full report first, Carl said, nodding. Susan looked around. She saw the votes were changing. Very well. The vote is postponed. We will get more information. Derek Chase said nothing, but a small muscle under his left eye began to twitch. He stared at Lucas with pure, cold anger. After the meeting, everyone left the room. Mr. Thorne put a hand on Lucas's shoulder. That was very well done. You used logic. You stayed calm. He is angry, Lucas said, watching the empty doorway where Derek had left. Yes, Mr. Thorne said. Be careful. In his own office, high up in a different building, Derek Chase closed the door. His hands were fists. The boy, in his stupid yellow shirt, had embarrassed him in front of everyone. He had used simple math to break apart Derek's plan. He pulled out his private phone. He dialed a number from memory. It rang 2 times. A calm, friendly voice answered. Hello, Derek. How did the board meeting go? It was a disaster, Derek hissed into the phone. The child did it. He asked questions. He stopped the vote. There was a pause on the other end. A child asked questions. What kind of questions? Questions about numbers, about where the money went. Derek paced the room. He is smarter than he looks. We have a problem. The voice on the phone stayed calm. No, Derek. You have a problem. I told you the approach was too aggressive. Now he is suspicious. What do we do? Derek asked, his voice tight. We do nothing, for now. Let him think he has won a small battle. He is just a boy. He will make a mistake. The voice was smooth, reassuring. We will be ready when he does. The call ended. Derek put the phone down. He looked out the window at the city. The boy had won today, but Derek knew the man on the phone. That man never lost for long. Mr. Thorne's office was very quiet. Lucas sat in a leather chair, swinging his feet slightly. The board meeting was a success, Mr. Thorne said, placing a folder on his desk. But we must think of the future. Your public image. It must look normal, to avoid more problems with people like Mr. Chase. Lucas looked at him. What does that mean? It means you will go to school, Mr. Thorne said gently, starting on Monday. Lucas's stomach felt tight. He had not been inside a school since before his mother disappeared. The thought of so many people, so much noise, was scary. I have been learning from the books you give me, Lucas said quietly. That is not the same, Mr. Thorne said. You need to be around other children. It will make you seem like a regular boy. It will protect you. Lucas knew it was not a request. It was a plan. He nodded slowly. On Monday morning, Lucas stood in front of Westwood Elementary School. He wore new jeans and a clean blue t-shirt. His yellow shirt was in his backpack just in case. Manny had given him a pat on the shoulder before he left. You'll be fine, kid. Just listen and watch, like you always do. His new teacher, Mrs. Green, was kind. She introduced him to the class. Everyone, this is Lucas. He is new. Please make him feel welcome. Lucas took a seat at an empty desk near the back. He watched. He saw who talked too much. He saw who was quiet. He saw a girl 2 rows over who was not listening to the teacher. She was drawing in a notebook. She was not drawing pictures. She was drawing diagrams with lots of lines and circles. At recess, Lucas sat on a bench under a tree. He took out his own notebook. He began to sketch an idea for a toy, a carousel that could be taken apart and rebuilt in different ways. Is that a gear assembly? Lucas looked up. The girl from class was standing there. She had blonde hair in a ponytail and curious eyes. What? Lucas asked. The drawing, the circle with the little teeth. That's a gear, she said, pointing. My name is Chloe. I'm Lucas, he said. He closed his notebook a little. You don't talk like a new kid, Chloe said, sitting next to him. You talk like you're thinking very hard about each word. Lucas didn't know what to say to that. He just looked at her. It's okay, Chloe said. I do that too. I'm building a robotic arm in my garage. It's hard to talk to people about normal stuff when you're thinking about servo motors. What is a servo motor? Lucas asked. Chloe's face lit up. It's a motor that can turn to a very specific position. Like if you wanted a robot hand to pick up a cup, you'd need a servo to tell the fingers how far to close. She looked at his notebook again. Can I see your drawing? It looks cool. Hesitantly, Lucas opened his notebook. Chloe studied it. This is a good design, she said, her voice serious. The central axle needs to be stronger though, or the whole thing will wobble when it spins. Your family into engineering? My family makes toys, Lucas said. It was true, but not the whole truth. Awesome, Chloe said. My dad is a dentist. He thinks my robots are weird. She stood up. You want to see my workshop after school? It's just a few blocks from here. Lucas thought about Mr. Thorne's rules. He thought about being careful. But Chloe did not feel like Derek Chase. She felt real. He nodded. Okay. Chloe's garage was a wonderful mess. There were tools on the walls, bins full of electronic parts, and half-built machines on the tables. In the center was a robotic arm made of white plastic and metal, hooked up to a computer. This is it, Chloe said proudly. Lucas walked around, looking at everything. He saw how she had organized her screws by size. He saw the careful labels. This was a place where things were built with love. An idea formed in his mind, a safe place for a key. Chloe, he said, can you build other things, not just robots? Sure, she said. What do you need? Lucas took a deep breath. This was trusting someone. I have an old desk. It has a special lock. The key is very old. I am afraid someone might try to open it. Can you help me make a new lock for it? A secret, strong one that only my key can open? Chloe's eyes widened with interest. A custom lock? That's a puzzle. I would need to see the key and the lock mechanism. But yeah, I think I could design something. A magnetic secondary bolt, maybe? She started talking about designs. Lucas listened. For the first time in a very long time, he felt a small spark of hope. He was not alone. The old key felt heavy in Lucas's pocket. After school, he went straight to the factory. The noisy main floor was quiet now. Most of the workers had gone home. He found Eleanor Vance in her corner. She was putting away her paintbrushes. Eleanor, Lucas said, I need to find where this key goes. He held it out. She took the key and turned it over in her paint-stained fingers. This is very old. It looks like a basement key for the old storage areas. She handed it back. I can show you where the basement door is. They walked to a part of the factory Lucas had never seen. It was near the big loading docks. Eleanor opened a heavy metal door. A set of concrete stairs led down into darkness. She flipped a switch. Dim lights came on. Be careful, she said. It's dusty down there. Lucas walked down the stairs. The basement was a maze of old boxes, forgotten machinery, and shelves covered in sheets. He walked slowly, looking at the walls. He saw a door marked boiler room. Another said electrical. Then, at the very end of a long corridor, he saw a plain wooden door. It had no sign. The paint was peeling. He walked up to it. There was a keyhole. He took the old key from his pocket. It fit perfectly. He turned it. The lock clicked with a sound that echoed in the quiet hallway. Lucas pushed the door open. The room inside was not a storage room. It was a workshop. A thick layer of gray dust covered everything. A single bare light bulb hung from the ceiling. There was a large work table in the middle. On it were blocks of wood, half-carved animals, and old, dried-up tubes of paint. Drawings were pinned to a corkboard on the wall. The drawings were of toys. Lucas stepped inside. His heart was beating fast. This was his grandfather's secret place. He looked at the drawings. They were signed A.M. in the corner. Arthur Montgomery. He saw a small easel in the corner with a canvas on it. It had a painting of a tree, only half finished. He recognized his mother's style. His mother had been here too. He walked to the work table. Under a pile of sketches, he found a flat wooden box. He blew the dust off and opened it. Inside were not tools, but papers. He lifted them out carefully. On top was a map of Los Angeles. It was old, the paper yellowing. Someone had drawn a circle in red ink around the Santa Monica Pier. Lucas's breath caught. He turned the map over. On the back, in his mother's handwriting, was a sentence. The music box is the key. Quote, asterisk. He stared at the words. What did it mean? Did you find something? Lucas jumped. Eleanor was standing in the doorway, her eyes wide as she looked around the secret room. A map, Lucas said, holding it up. of the Santa Monica Pier, and my mom wrote something on the back. Eleanor came closer. She took the map. She looked at the red circle. A slow smile spread across her face, then faded into sadness. "The pier," she whispered. "Of course." "What is it?" Lucas asked. "The carousel," Eleanor said. She pointed to the circle. "The big carousel on the pier. Your grandfather's first big job. He was just a young man. He was hired to repair and restore the whole thing. He spent a whole summer there, but his special job, he built a new music box for it, a beautiful, complex one. He said the music it played was the sound of the ocean and laughter mixed together." Lucas looked at the note again. "The music box is the key. Asterisk. My mom left this for me," he said. "She wanted me to find this place." Eleanor put a gentle hand on his shoulder. "She must have. This was Arthur's sanctuary. He came here when he needed to think, to create. Amelia must have used it too, to feel close to him." She looked around, her eyes misty. "And now you have found it." Lucas folded the map carefully and put it in his pocket with the key. The music box was the key. A key to what? He knew one thing for sure. He had to go to the Santa Monica Pier. "We have to go see it," Lucas said. He held the map open on the work table in Chloe's garage. Chloe leaned over it. "The Santa Monica Pier? At night? My parents will never say yes." "We cannot ask," Lucas said quietly. "Someone is watching me. I feel it. If we ask, people will know where we are going." Chloe thought about this. She nodded slowly. "Okay, we tell my parents we are having a project sleepover here in the garage. They check on me at 9 o'clock. After that, we can go. We have to be back before morning." So that night, after Chloe's parents checked onto them, they slipped out. They took a bus. It was a long ride. Lucas kept looking out the window, watching the dark streets. They got off near the beach. They could hear the ocean. They walked toward the bright lights of the pier. Even at night, it was busy. People played games. They ate food. Music played from speakers. "Where is the carousel?" Lucas asked, his hand on the map in his pocket. They walked past all the games and food stands. At the very end of the pier, they found it. A big, beautiful building with lights all around it. Inside, they could see the carousel turning slowly. Painted horses went up and down. A calliope played cheerful music. "That's it," Chloe said. They bought tickets and went inside. The room was loud with music and laughter. The carousel spun in a bright, colorful circle. Lucas walked slowly around the outside, looking at the central column where the music came from. He saw the shiny pipes of the calliope, but not a separate music box. "It must be inside the center part," Chloe said, pointing to the decorated core of the carousel. They waited for the ride to stop. When everyone got off, Lucas walked up to a worker who was wiping down a horse. "Excuse me," Lucas said. "My grandfather helped build this carousel. Arthur Montgomery. He made a special music box for it. Do you know where it is?" The worker, a teenager, shrugged. "I just run the ride. The machinery is all inside the middle. I've never seen a separate box." He looked at them suspiciously. "You kids shouldn't be back here." They stepped away. Lucas felt a sinking feeling. The clue was here, but where? "Let's look underneath," Chloe suggested. "Sometimes machinery is accessed from below." They found a door marked "Staff Only" at the back of the building. It was unlocked. They slipped through. A narrow staircase led down under the carousel floor. It was dim and smelled like oil and old wood. Underneath, it was a forest of spinning poles and gears. The whole structure turned slowly above their heads. The music was louder here, vibrating through the floor. "Look," Chloe whispered, pointing. In the very center, bolted to a heavy wooden beam, was a large, polished wooden box. It was covered in intricate carvings of sea creatures. It had a small, clear window. Inside, they could see a complex brass cylinder with tiny pins. "The music box," Lucas breathed. He stepped closer. He saw a small, worn plaque on the side. It read, "A gift of song from Arthur Montgomery. Asterisk. Suddenly, a loud voice broke through the music. "What are you kids doing down here?" Two large men stood at the bottom of the stairs. They wore dark jackets. They did not look like pier workers. Lucas's heart jumped into his throat. He grabbed Chloe's arm. "We got lost," Chloe said quickly, her voice high. "You're Lucas, aren't you?" the first man said, ignoring her. He took a step forward. "Mr. Chase said you might come poking around. What did you find?" "Derek." He had followed them. The man reached for Lucas's backpack. "Let's see what you have." "Now!" Chloe yelled. She pulled a small device from her pocket, a homemade electronic buzzer. She pressed a button. A painfully loud, screeching sound filled the small space. The men yelled, covering their ears. Chloe grabbed Lucas's hand. "Run!" They scrambled past the confused men, up the stairs, and out the door. They did not stop running until they were lost in the crowded pier, their hearts pounding like drums. On the long, quiet bus ride back, Lucas hugged his backpack. He was shaking. He knew we would go there. When they finally slipped back into Chloe's garage, the sky was starting to get light. Lucas was exhausted, but he felt a new fear. Derek was not just angry, he was dangerous. Later that morning, Lucas went to the factory. He went straight down to the secret workshop. He pushed the door open. Everything was wrong. The drawers of the work table were pulled out. The papers were scattered on the floor. The box where he found the map was overturned. Someone had been there. Someone had been looking for the same clues. The secret workshop was a mess. Papers were everywhere. Lucas's hands trembled as he picked up a drawing of a toy boat from the floor. Someone had been looking for something. They had been in his grandfather's private place. He did not tell Eleanor. He did not go to Mr. Thorne's office. He went to the only place that felt safe. The bell on the laundromat door chimed. Manny was mopping the floor. He looked up and saw Lucas's face. "What happened?" Manny asked, dropping the mop. Lucas told him everything, about the map, about the pier, about the two men, about the ransacked workshop. Manny listened, his face growing more serious with each word. He put a big hand on Lucas's shoulder. "This is getting too deep, kid. Those men knew your name. This is not just business anymore. You have to tell the lawyer." "I know," Lucas said, his voice small. "But what if Mr. Thorne tells me to stop looking? What if he says it is too dangerous? I have to find my mom." Before Manny could answer, the door chimed again. Mr. Thorne walked in. He looked from Lucas's worried face to Manny's serious one. "Something has happened," Mr. Thorne stated. It was not a question. Lucas nodded. "Someone searched the secret workshop. And last night at the pier, two men tried to grab me. They said Mr. Chase sent them." Mr. Thorne's stern face became like stone. "I see." He placed his briefcase on a washing machine and opened it. He pulled out a thin folder. "This is why I came to find you. After the board meeting, I began a quiet investigation into the money, into the Oakland factory numbers you questioned." He opened the folder. Inside were bank statements and contracts. "I found several large payments," Mr. Thorne said, his voice low and careful. "Money that was supposed to go to material suppliers for the Oakland factory. The money never reached them. It went to a different company, a shell company. It was theft." Lucas's breath caught. "Derek Chase?" "The trail was hidden," Mr. Thorne said, "but it led to a bank account, and on the authorization forms for that account, there is a signature." He took out one last paper. It was a photocopy of a financial document. At the bottom was a flowing, elegant signature. "The signature belongs to the person who controlled that account, the person who has been selling company secrets and stealing money for a long time," Mr. Thorne said. He slid the paper toward Lucas. Lucas looked down at the signature. The letters were loopy and confident. He stared at it. His brain felt slow. Then, it clicked. He had seen this writing before, on birthday cards his mother kept, on the back of an old photo. His fingers felt cold. He reached into his backpack. He pulled out the photograph from his grandfather's secret drawer, the photo of his mother, Amelia, with the smiling man, Robert Hill. He turned the photo over. On the back, in the same loopy handwriting, was written, "To Amelia, with all my affection, Uncle Robert. ****. It was the same signature. The room seemed to tilt. The friendly face in the photo. The man who was like family. "Robert Hill," Lucas whispered. The name felt like ash in his mouth. "Yes," Mr. Thorne said, his voice heavy. "The company's former chief financial officer. Your grandfather's most trusted friend. He was not just stealing. I believe he was working with Derek Chase to take over the company from the inside. When your mother discovered it, that is likely why she disappeared." Lucas felt a hot pain in his chest. The real villain was not the angry man in the suit. It was the smiling man in the picture. the one his mother had trusted, the one his grandfather had loved. He looked at Manny, whose face was filled with sorrow. He looked at Mr. Thorne, who waited quietly. The fear he felt at the pier was gone. It was replaced by a cold, hard understanding. The enemy had a name, and it was a name he knew. The phone rang in the back room of the laundromat. Lucas looked at the unknown number on the screen. He took a deep breath and answered. "Lucas, it's Robert Hill." The voice was warm, friendly. The voice from the photograph. "I heard about all the excitement. I think we should talk, man to man." "What about?" Lucas asked, keeping his voice flat. "About your mother," Robert said. The friendliness didn't waver. "I have some information, things I couldn't say before. Meet me at the old company warehouse on Terminal Street, tonight at 8 o'clock. Come alone." The call ended. Lucas put the phone down. He looked at Mr. Thorne, Eleanor, and Manny, who were all sitting with him. Chloe was there too, her walkie-talkie in her lap. "It is a trap, Mr. Thorne said. "I know," Lucas said, "but he has information about my mom. I have to go." Eleanor's eyes were filled with tears. That snake, after all Arthur did for him. "So we make a plan," Manny said, leaning forward. "You don't go alone." They made a plan. At 8 o'clock, the big warehouse on Terminal Street was dark and quiet. One door was open. Lucas walked in, a backpack on his shoulders. Chloe followed, staying hidden in the shadows by the door, her walkie-talkie on. Robert Hill stood under a single hanging light bulb. He looked just like his photo, but older. He still had a kind smile. "Lucas, thank you for coming." He spread his hands. "I'm sorry for all the secrecy. These are dangerous times." "You said you had information about my mom," Lucas said, not moving closer. "I do," Robert said. He sighed, a sad, fatherly sound. "Your mother found out some things, bad things about the company's finances. She came to me because she trusted me. She was scared. I told her I would help, but Derek Chase found out she knew. He is a ruthless man. He made her disappear." Lucas felt a chill. "Made her disappear how?" "I don't know all the details," Robert said, shaking his head. "I was trying to protect her, but now you are in danger too. The only way to be safe is to let the adults handle this. I can protect you and the company, but you need to sign over temporary control to me." He held out a folder. "It's just a formality, for your own safety." Lucas didn't touch the folder. "You were stealing money. You were working with Derek." Robert's kind smile faded. It didn't turn mean, it just turned empty. "You've been talking to Thorne." "I was trying to save the company, Lucas. Your grandfather was a dreamer. He was bad with money. I took some to invest, to make it stronger. Derek offered a partnership, a merger. It was for the best. You lied to my mom. You betrayed my grandfather." Lucas's voice was quiet but sharp. Suddenly, another voice cut through the dark warehouse. "You betrayed me, you pathetic worm." Derek Chase stepped into the circle of light. His face was twisted with anger. "You were supposed to keep the boy quiet, not invite him for a chat and try to cut me out." Robert spun around, startled. "Derek, what are you doing here? This wasn't the plan." "The plan was for you to get the controlling shares from the child," Derek yelled. "Not feed him stories and take everything for yourself. I did all the dirty work. I faced the board, and you were just going to take it?" They were arguing now, forgetting about Lucas. He took a slow step back. "You are a blunt instrument, Derek," Robert snapped, his friendly mask completely gone. "You were never smart enough to run the company. You were just useful." "Useful?" Derek screamed. He lunged at Robert. Lucas gave the signal. He spoke clearly into the small microphone hidden on his shirt. "Now!" The big warehouse doors slammed open. Bright lights flooded the space. Manny and two large factory security men ran in. Right behind them were police officers in uniform. "Freeze! Police!" an officer shouted. Derek and Robert stopped fighting. They stood frozen under the light, surrounded. The police moved in quickly, handcuffing both men. A policewoman walked over to Lucas. "Are you Lucas Montgomery? Are you hurt?" "I am okay," Lucas said. He looked at Robert Hill, who wouldn't meet his eyes. "He said he knows something about my mother, Amelia Montgomery. She is missing." The policewoman nodded. "We will take them in and ask them every question we can. We will find out what they know." As the police led Robert and Derek away, Mr. Thorne and Eleanor hurried in. Eleanor wrapped Lucas in a tight hug. Mr. Thorne put a steadying hand on his shoulder. "It is over," Mr. Thorne said. Lucas watched the police cars drive away, but he knew it wasn't really over. Not until he found his mom. The police cars were gone. The warehouse was quiet again. Lucas stood between Mr. Thorne and Eleanor, Manny a step behind them. "They will be questioned for a long time," Mr. Thorne said. "The evidence is strong. They will not bother you again." "But my mom," Lucas said. His voice was small in the big space. "They did not say where she is," Mr. Thorne said gently. "Robert Hill claimed he did not know, but the police will keep looking. Now, they have a reason and a suspect. It is more than we had before." It was not a happy ending, but it was a beginning. A few days later, Lucas stood on a small platform in the middle of the main factory floor. All the machines were silent. Every worker was there, watching. He wore his yellow shirt. Mr. Thorne handed him a microphone. Lucas looked out at all the faces. People who built toys. People his grandfather had hired. People his mother had known. "Hello," he said. The microphone made his soft voice loud. "My name is Lucas Montgomery. My grandfather was Arthur. My mother was Amelia. Some bad people were trying to take our company. One of them was Robert Hill." A murmur went through the crowd. Robert's name was known here. He stole money. He told lies. He worked with Derek Chase. The police have them now. Lucas took a deep breath. "I am just a boy. I do not know how to run this place, but I know what it is. It is not just a building. It is where magic is made. My grandfather told me that. I want Montgomery Toys to keep making magic, and I need your help to do it." He saw people nodding. He saw Eleanor wiping her eyes. "We are not closing any factories," Lucas said firmly. "We are going to make the best toys we can, together." The room broke into loud cheers and clapping. The sound filled the huge space. Later, in his grandfather's office, Lucas sat with Mr. Thorne, Eleanor, and Manny. Chloe was there too, looking around in awe. "We must form a new board of directors, Mr. Thorne said, opening a notebook. "People we can trust." "I want Eleanor," Lucas said immediately. Eleanor smiled, her eyes bright. "I want Manny," Lucas said. Manny shook his head. "Kid, I don't know anything about toys. I know about laundry." "You know about loyalty," Lucas said. "That is more important." Manny nodded, his throat tight. "And I want Chloe," Lucas said. Chloe's mouth fell open. "Me? But I'm just a kid." "You are smart. You see things differently. You can help design new toys, the electronic parts," Lucas said. "If you want to." "I want to," Chloe said quickly. Mr. Thorne wrote the names down. "A good start. We will find a few more. Good people." In the weeks that followed, a new routine began. Lucas still lived with Manny. He went to school, but every day after, he went to the factory. He learned about wood from the carpenters. He learned about paint from the artists. He learned about numbers from a new, kind accountant Mr. Thorne found. One afternoon, Lucas stood in his grandfather's office. He took off his yellow shirt. He folded it carefully. He opened the glass case where his grandfather's first carved toy, a little wooden bear, sat on display. He placed the folded yellow shirt beside it. He was not hiding anymore. He looked at the photo on the desk, his grandfather and his laughing mother. He missed her with a sharp ache that never went away. But he was not alone. He had a family here too. He was Lucas Montgomery, owner of Montgomery Toys, and his story, like the best toys, was just starting to be built.